look at that road down there. I've already clocked it. That's where we're going. Just staying out nice and wide. I'm far enough out to get an advantage, but close enough I can get back. So, yeah, that'll do. Get out on camera. I'm not saying I come here often, but the mango chicken sandwich is a thing. Briefly discuss it on the move, but that constant having your eyes out there, what sort of changed your riding, if any at all, do you think?
I think I'm maybe making my decisions for road positioning a little bit, just a fraction of a second quicker than I was before.
Earlier.
Yeah, but part of that, I'll be honest, is also because, like I said, I wasn't conscious that this was going to be as high a level as it is. Yeah. And so I thought, well, you know, I'll ride it the sort of level I'm always riding at, which always seems to be fine for like, everywhere else. Yeah.
Of course, the ride you were doing before is absolutely spot on. Yeah, you know, it's quite difficult to sit there and find fault, which isn't what we're about. You know, you could ride to a really nice level. So for me, it was like, well, what can we do to improve on something that's already good, rather than just sit behind waiting for a fault, and just bring everything I can up into those discussion points of here's the thing that you do, could we do something else? And not on every bend, just on some bends, but sort of from where I'm sitting, it's turned a nice, smooth, flowing ride, because you're reading the road like that. There's no late decisions. There's no, I need to be over there, and I need to be there, because it took a while even for me to spot that's why I asked, how are you reading the road? It's because I'm bringing my view back. They're the times that you're obviously going, I need to be there. You know what I do?
I don't know.
I was a big fan of being close to my bike.
Yeah.
There we are. So it is just raising it. Like I say, there are times when you were reading the road really well, but there was other times that it was nowhere near poor, but it wasn't as good as it was the other bends. Why is that? And it's because of that. Like I say, 30s, 40s and whatnot, we can be up and down. You know, there's people walking on phones, kids, schools, and all that sort of thing. So that's kind of fine. But if we want a bit of pace, we'll just give ourselves time, even if we're not doing that much pace. In that, like some of those 50s, we're just sat at 50. It's all quite nice. It just gives us more time, and nobody ever had an epic on their bike because they had lots of time. Yeah. Normally it's because they've not given themselves enough time.
They're rushed, yeah.
You felt yourself, like, when I put you to the front, you come out, and then before you know, we sort of squeeze it up on the car behind, and then it's like, actually, I need to give it a bit of room just to set that self out, because time is massively our friend. It's huge. Yeah. No, it's really tidy ride. Like, coming through there now, I was like, this is what I'd like to expect. This is where we're at, nice and early. You know, I'm sat there going, I know this road, relatively well. I couldn't have positioned earlier than you. It was just about right. You know, any earlier we'll start cutting corners, sacrificing something. It's just nice and tidy.
Cool.
Before I rode up into the Nationals, and then do your thing.
Let's do it. I'm enjoying this.
And that's a big thing for us. I can't be the one to take the fun out of motorbike riding. I'd be absolutely devastated if anybody left and thought, whilst it was good, it wasn't fun.
Yeah. No, it certainly is. I wasn't don't get me wrong, I was not expecting a cowboy outfit by any stretch of the imagination. It is a much higher standard, my fault, and much more professional and much more realistic. That's the big thing, you know, it's how bikers ride, you know, like people that want to make a bit of progress on the road. There's no difference to this than me going out for a ride with my mates, except I'm getting professional input on how to do that as safe as possible. Yeah,
absolutely. Great stretch of road up ahead here, taking it in nice and early. Right turn there is the one.
Gotcha.
So that right junction. I mean, it's not a dawdling one, it just is a bit sharper than everything else on this road.
Oh yeah. Comfort braking.
There's a nice bit of road here, scanning out as far as we can. So pretty much where that sort of little box fan is. 2 cars ahead of that. going to go staggered junction straight across, left and right.
Gotcha. Oh, good. Now for me, with that overtake,
Yep.
I could see that there was the hazard signs coming up for cattle, but I was happy that I had enough space between me and that car, and, and I had enough grunt in this to get by that and in well before that. And I could see there was nothing, there was no hazards there.
A lot of this comes down to people's appetite for risk. There are others who will view the video or would have ridden that stretch of road in exactly the same circumstances and said, that's not for me.
Yeah.
You know, and this is probably the hardest thing about our job, is assessing people's attitude to risk. Because if you're riding with someone who's massively safety focused, conscious, and fears the unknown, then of course they're going to be, that was a bit dangerous. It could have been the perception of the caravan driver, etc., etc. It's one of those overtakes, one of those times where there's enough information there that maybe the decision's made for you. But as a grown adult, experienced rider riding to a high level, there's all the information. You make your own risk assessment. For someone else's ride, that's totally not the thing to do. Someone else's might have gone past it earlier, sooner, quicker. I'm sure there's a point where everyone agrees it becomes, that there is dangerous. But and also, once you had a look, and once you were committed, then you just see the roof of the caravan. It's like, well, okay, I'm on the go here. What would have been worse is a bit of hesitation. That bit of ride there, then we've gone through some 50s, a little bit of nationals, even some built-up area. What are we doing with our vision as we ride?
I'm still fighting that urge to scan down all the time. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be just to keep my vision, to the horizon, more or less. That extra sort of second definitely is allowing me to position when we pick the speed up. I'll be honest, I'm not... Like 50s and below, I'm not really worried about my position overly, to be perfectly honest. But above that, it's just allowing me to move into the position. I'm conscious that I'm probably moving in quicker than I was before. You
just give yourself so much more time. I know a second and a half, it doesn't sound a lot. But once we see something, we've got just a longer moment in time to see it. It's that interpretation of what we see. I ride with so many people who see a thing, but they don't ask that question. So what? What does it mean to me? It's just a sign, a junction, a car. Well, that's where the road goes. They're not already building it into their riding plan. And we joke about it's better to have a plan than make it up as you go along. But straight away, as soon as we've got that, the rider just becomes smoother, almost effortless. I'm actually going at quite a rate of knots. And it is the secret to riding fast is to see far and interpret early. Give yourself time, because it doesn't feel rushed. It almost doesn't matter what it says on the clocks. If it feels rushed, probably go too quick to what we can see, or certainly what we can interpret and make a plan.
For sure,
And that's when things start catching us out. And so many of us, we get away with it. But actually, if we can ride to that level almost every mile, and similar to you in certainly for me, 40s and below, my position, I like to be where I can see and people can see me. If we start positioning for every hazard, we're down the road like this.
Of course,
the vans are reversing out on us and whatnot, that we'll actually maybe do something about it. So I'm a fan of that. If I'm drilling an inexperienced rider, we might consider doing some drills. There's a thing, and there's a thing. But actually, a rider of your sort of standard is just going to see something. We don't have to react. It's just got to be logged in the plan. If that changes, I'm going to do X. A bit like we discussed earlier. Do you find yourself moving away from vehicles? Oncoming now a little bit less.
Less, definitely. And it feels a little bit alien, because I've given myself, I've almost telegraphed it a lot of the time, because I'm conscious that everything I do when I'm recording will be scrutinised by people. So it's almost like I'm riding with an instructor a lot of the time, and I'm trying to telegraph that, I've seen that, and I'm doing this. But as you said, in the actual ride, you don't need to give yourself that degree of a safety margin. I mean, some would say, the real safety conscious would say, well, there's never too much of a safety margin. But there is, isn't there? There's no need to move that far out the way for everything.
I mean, at its smallest or its lowest term, we're putting an input the bike that doesn't necessarily need.
Yeah.
All right, it's, you know, hopefully it's quite smooth. We're not swooping around the place.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm a big believer, and I do often coach, and I know some of the other coaches do as well, is have a look at the car. If it's all over the shop, if we've got any doubt, got to give it some room.
Yeah, give it.
Absolutely right. You know, heavies, farm traffic, trailers, you know, they're bouncing around, they've got a bit more going on. Then it's almost a drill of give it some room.
Yeah.
If we see something's being driven well, do we need to telegraph the fact we've seen it, give it loads of room, often at the compromise to something else we're going to do?
Yeah.
If we have reduced view, we should reduce our speed, but the reality is so many people don't. So they're moving away from this thing into a left-hand bend, so they've reduced their view, but they're so conscious of this. But what they haven't done is reduce their speed for the oncoming thing.
Yeah.
You know, just because this is safe doesn't make this less safe.
Yeah.
You know, also it doesn't make it dangerous.
Yeah. Reduce the risk for one thing, but increase the risk for the next.
Yeah, definitely. And don't be wrong, I don't know how to describe it, but there is that gut feeling that sometimes there's nothing visual about it. I need to be away from that car. You know, I'd always listen to your gut. Ride what we can see. That what we can reasonably expect to happen. If there's potholes on the road or cyclists for him, then there's a good chance that oncoming car's pushing out. Of course, give it some room.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm saying that when there are cars, either we're parked on the side of the road or whatever, and we've got a car coming, would you say you're one for dominating your area of road, or do you give it room?
No, I'll give room.
It gives them room, but what also does it do?
Encourages the oncoming to come.
So that space that you're trying to create, you're almost inviting them to fill that gap.
Yeah.
There is a fine line.
Yeah.
Absolutely, being super stubborn and being out here, and because if you're in a car, we're not scraping the alloys on the car on the curb. So there's just sometimes when you're drifting over towards the left-hand side to allow that vehicle to come in, and I'm sort of maybe being a bit more proactive about holding my area of the road. It almost makes them stop. So that safety margin you're looking for, sometimes you're inviting, and
okay, yeah.
So it's a fine line. If they keep coming, we're going to have to give in. You know?
I'm going public perception. I'm just thinking from my course again, wearing uniform. Do you know what I mean? It's that. I don't know. It's the public perception thing. Yeah, you're right though. You're totally right in what you just said. Yeah, it's actually less of a risk almost to say no. I'm coming.
Yeah. Here I am, I've got my lights on, and certainly those guys who spend a fortune putting their big extra spotlights on and whatnot, if they're doing the same, and like I say, I'm not suggesting for a moment we'll be stubborn or anything like that, but we're inviting them to fill a gap.
Yeah.
So actually we can stay out there a little bit longer to almost telegraphing to them, I've got the right of way here, I'm allowed to do it. You know, it's one thing being right and another being dead right.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's an element, and the public perception thing is a conversation I've had a couple of times recently, and of course I ride around branded pretty much all the time. I absolutely do ride around with the public perception in my, but also, you know, we've gone to the effort like you are now of putting ourselves out there, getting more and more training. There's an element of just because this person hasn't, you know, should that person's perception go above my safety, my ability to ride the bike well.
Of course,
that's a matter for everyone. They're their own opinion. But for me, as a branded, like, professional motorcyclist, there becomes a time, and actually, no, it's not my fault that you don't know this is the best way for me to achieve my goal. And that's not to say that we go around sort of getting in everyone's face at all, because obviously I'm quite a polite rider, but there's an element of this bit's mine. But the consideration is there's no right or wrong, but you know, again, don't want anything to be so intuitive, so natural that it just becomes the norm without thought. We're going to be heading out that way. We're going to head up towards Kingsclear, which is quite a nice, well-to-do area, some nice houses up there. Like I said, we're getting to roads I don't know as well, so my commentary will hopefully be as good, but totally what I can see rather than what I know. It's concentrating on the read in the road, getting in that position nice and early, riding the focus at the horizon for as long as we can, and getting those overtakes in. That's a strong point for you. That one we were talking about, it was out, for you it was on. And as we said, as we were riding, for some, maybe not, but this is where a bit of individualism comes into it.
Cool.
So, cool.
All right, nice one.
Battery change.
Cockpit cam, sync 'em up, 1, 2, 3. Whew, right on.
I'll leave for a little minute, get some breeze.
Okay.
Clear behind the bus. Straight on out past the petrol station, we've got the oncoming car, slowing the road, services to the offside, the road in the distance goes round to the right, advance one of an offside junction. We're in the 50s, so we're doing that roughly. So as I get close to the bend, let's just start drifting in towards the near side. We've got the white car, got the bike behind it, we've got a helmet over the top, so giving him a little bit of room. Not closing down the bus, because I like to think I've got enough power that I can get past it. Just see the roof of the car over there, so I will just come back, looking down the near side, not closing the gap. So we've got the white van into a right-hand bend, looks like a bit of a junction there, so I'm going to just close it down ever so slightly, taking the view, going out for a look, getting it done before that car comes. In before the junction, job's gooder. Nicely done. Got the yellow back sign, 3 cars towards, got the indicator on the one, then keep left arrows. The road continues round to the near side up ahead, so passing over the W of slow. Plenty of room for the oncoming pickup. Just holding it about the speed limit now. Got the oncoming cars. Big wide road like this, I've got very little into massive bug right in my grid. Got the road layout sign, we've got the top of the roof there, we've got the 2 cars towards, give it a bit of space so the car behind can see me. Got the slow in the road, got the red car towards. I'm looking at that van, it goes round to the near side as depicted by the sign there. I'm heading towards Andover. Got a little under a mile left on this road, keep left arrows, hazard warning lines, watch that car. Straight on out. About half a mile until we turn left. Eyeing up the Volvo, you've got the bus stop there to the offside. Got the van coming, the car behind. No right turn, advance on the near side. There's quite a bit going on in a short stretch of road. The ski's not closing down the Volvo. And we're going to be turning left soon. Into the National, ease nice and slow, into a right-hand bend. Really nice place to get an overtake in. On the way out, everything's on side if there wasn't a big drop. Junctions. Got the red car in a distance, see the road drifting off round to the left. Got the red car cutting across, just easing off.
Perfect example as to why not to overtake, isn't it?
Not nipping past, I've got plenty of room so I don't have to fly past at big speeds. Bigger the speed differential, the more dangerous it is. I'm heading all the way over to position 1 now for this right-hand bend, casting my view out as far as I can. Through the internals of the bug that's splattered on my visor. Advancing one of the near side junctions, the road continues round to the right. We've got the red car, we've got the roofs up there, we've got the blue sign. As soon as I can, I'm over towards that position 3, well away from this junction. It's telling us about a new 30-mile-an-hour speed limit in 30 yards. I'm not easing off just yet, can see the speed limit, using the brakes. Taking it down to around 30, 31 on my speedo, it's about right. Right there, putting out the bins, the road disappears round to the right. You've got lots of signage. Got the car coming from the left. No need to position out nice and wide because I can easily stop in the distance. I can see them safe. I'm nowhere near that oncoming car. Road drops round to the left. Got to hold that position 2.5 to 3. Pretty much my sort of urban area sort of position. There's the National. Near side bend, near side mirror. We've got the Volvo behind us still. Pushing on when I get there. Road disappears round to the left so I can straight line this little bit off. Miles away from that near side bend. I'm not going to get any more view being out there, so I'm just going to hold this position 3 nice and wide, looking down the left hand side of that blue Golf. So that has warning lines everywhere. Gaining on it now, just easing off, got the speed limit there. I'm not going to overtake into a speed limit, because that there is poor for public perception. Just firing in just before a speed sign.
Gotcha.
We're going to be going left at this roundabout. On the approach, looking up to where we're going to go, double bend, the first one being to the left. That's how early we're taking it in, even at this sort of speed. If we can have it early, we might as well. Advance warning of farm traffic, tractors, nice narrow road. So I will position ever so slightly once it's clear and safe and open. I will do, take a view all the way up the road there, seeing where it goes. Oh, I feel like I've missed a speed.
I've not seen it.
It does happen. So I thought, how do we find out if we're in a National or not?
Well, you look for the repeaters, don't you? So if it's a 30, there's hopefully going to be lampposts.
Yeah, and those repeaters should be within half a mile.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So we've been over half a mile. We haven't seen any, so it's pretty safe to assume that we can.
We're now in a National.
Got the roundabout there, we're taking the second exit. Got cars towards us, even out of the countryside. Lots of lights, big hazard. Down the gears, on the brakes, taking a good look to the right. Straight line it out nice and wide. all the way over to position 1, change your road surface, it disappears round to the right. Take it up, you've got the oncoming car, it's still coming from the right, so I'm going to hold this nice and tight position 1. No reason not to be. There is a chance that there's a driveway or farm entrance here. It's actually a junction, so I'll drift out. Once I can see into it, I can ignore it because it's empty. Drifting back into that position 1. Holding my line nice and wide. Now I'm quite comfortable over towards the curb because it's never jumped out and got me. Over towards that position 3, nice and early. Making the straights as long as possible. But a simple fact, we can pull wide quite quickly in a straight line. Got the roof of a van going away, advertising where the road is going. So we're going to go right, then slightly left, don't even need a sign. And as it's empty and open, we get over the top. We've got the van's falling of something there. Off the gas, going into this a little bit of a close throttle. Just opening it back up to pull me out. We're going left, then right. Dropping the gear because the other bends didn't have a sign, so this could be a little bit tighter. We've got the pub, the junction. Got the near side junction, I can see you at position 2, got the slow moving grey car, going out towards 1 now, as the road opens up, driving out the bend. The van's one of a double bend, first one being to the left, you can see it's got chevrons, this one is even sharper. So they're coming out a bit pretty slow, checking the mirror, using the brakes on the way in, I'm even dropping down a gear, off the throttle still, as it opens up, pulling myself over towards position 1, looking through the bend, we've got the tractor or the yellow vehicle, whatever it is, the slow mover. There's no point charging right up to it, we've got the car behind it, looking down that hedgerow, look, there's nothing coming. Dropping the gear on the way off the throttle, straight on out, so it's safe for him to go, I'm not committing, I'm just out. I can see down the dip, so I'm on, I'm going to keep the view I've already got, looking over the hedgerow, going to pick a point roughly where he is now to be safely on my side of the road. He's not accelerating, which is a little bit of a frustration. Over the top, the road drops down to the right, I can't see it over there, so I reckon it's going over towards those trees. And there it is, bit of a junction, so I'm not going to look to overtake now, but we are going left.
It's almost like you know what you're doing.
Almost. Do you know what, I don't think I've ever ridden that road, I don't think.
Yeah, alright.
Oh no, I've been honest and I'm not going to change now. So clear right, he's going straight across, still clear, out we go. Up the gears, on the gas, up to the speed limit, for our chosen speed, holding that position 1 nice and early. Got the little van thing there, nice and wide. We've got another one, plus another one. So I'm just going to stay wide again, give them the room they deserve because they're big and they're full of snap-on tools. Even though I'm not mechanically minded at all.
You got to respect
snap-on. Yeah, you've got to respect the snap-on. Towards the O and the W of slow, they're being driven well. Solid white lines, the chevrons. I'm just off the gas, picking it back up as I go in. I'm going straight over to position 1. Bit of a driveway or junction there to the left-hand side. So just wait for that view to open up. It's actually a parking bay. Staying wide. There's another right. There's no point going back just to come back when there's no reason not to be here. Got the bus request. We can expect slow movers, pedestrians even. Staying nice and wide where the road allows. And going out towards that position 3. Straightening it, by lengthening the straights as much as we can. Firing on down. Again, going all the way over that position 1. No reason not to be because there's a right-hand bend coming up. No hazards that I can see. A little bit of a junction there, I've got the view into it, I could sort of ignore it, but I've got a half view in there, it's still nice and safe, over towards position 3. Houses there, junction or driveway, telling me to use a low gear now, go down to the left, into the 40, checking the mirror, down to 40, and look at that.
Look at that!
I was heading to some sort of town, so the expectation is the speed will reduce even more, just the sign there. Down to the 30, it's not going to happen on engine braking for me on this bike, so I'm not using the brakes. Dropping the gear, got the lorry towards, big old bit of kit, so I'll give it some room. Using the mirrors where we can, they've got the slow in the road disappears round to the left hand side. Over the humpback bridge, got the chevrons there, got the shell grip, there's a lot going on here, so just taking it nice and easy, even dropping a further gear just before we get there. Got that car just come out there, clear left, clear round to the right. Got the oncoming van, we're in the 30s, the next time the speed increases, whether it be a 40, 50 or national, what I'll do is I'll keep to the near side. And again, just thinking about what we've worked on, giving yourself time, whether that be using the view, keeping away from vehicles, positioning, time is massively our friend.
Okay.
I'll keep into the near side after this, when it's safe to do so and you're happy, just move past. And the 40, the road disappears up to the road, over the top, you've got the keep left arrows, followed by the solids. Oh, it's almost wasted in a 40, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Nationals.
There's a part of me wants to do it with you, but not on the internet.
Do it. Do it. saw that and thought the road was going round to the left.
And that's, you know, not target fixation to the extent of bumping into stuff.
Yeah.
But it's those little things that, you know, if we can keep pushing our eyes forward instead of locking on.
Hold off. I could have made that before the solids, but
You could have, and you know, and listen, we're not on a shout for a job or anything like that. We've just had quite a relaxing pace through there. It's quite difficult to, just automatically go back into progress mode.
Yeah.
Do talk quite a bit about the mindset.
This one here.
Yeah.
So I was concentrating too much on the that bend.
Yeah, when I'm coaching, I do talk a lot about the mindset. Some days, you know, if you've had an argument with Mrs. Teapot, coming out and taking it out on your bike, which I'm sure when we were younger we used to kind of enjoy because it's quite thrilling.
Yeah.
It's not the way forward though. Not suggesting for a moment that you would ever go against the word of Mrs. Teapot. Because of course Mrs. Teapot would never be in the wrong.
Never is, apparently, allegedly.
Use a bit of the shadows here. If something's coming from that right, it's going to cause a shadow. That's all right for a right-hander. You wouldn't want to take that much quicker than that. On these little Nadgery roads, what's your thoughts on using the whole road here?
I'm not comfortable on this, just in case there's something coming round that bend, and if it causes me to like make a last-minute manoeuvre, there's all this shit in the middle. So I'd rather be on this side of the road for me.
Yeah.
At this speed, I mean, I wouldn't ride quicker than this anyway on this type of road.
No, it's. I'm a big fan of like speed is relative, isn't it? You know, 30 down here is quick.
You just never know, do you? A lot of agricultural traffic.
Yeah.
Pheasants. I think the biggest lessons for me and things that have happened over the last few years is that I'm not as good as perhaps I thought I was, and my reactions aren't as quick as I thought they were. That's been a big leveller for me.
Left at the end.
Left at the end. Received.
Through the bend, using that car as a bit of info. It's not a tight bend. Looking over, looking around, looking through if we can. Two lots of chevrons there, so it should be a little bit worse than the bends at one. Standing up to the skyline now, horizon. If it's where I think I am, there's like a big bowl to the left, quite a view. early on the old morning there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Bang on. Awesome. This has been a top day. Really enjoyed this, Ryan.
Oh, good man.
I've said to you before, actually, when we stopped for grub earlier, folks, this is, how do I say this without sounding like a total twat, a pompous twat? I don't mean to, but this is much more advanced than I was expecting. I was expecting another sort of bike safe type thing, just go through the motions, and you've really pushed me today. Like, I found I've had to really concentrate and up my game in certain levels.
Yeah.
Now, you said it's not like that all the time when you come
very
here.
much so. You know, our conversation of your riding history, you know, it's a bespoke training day. It's bespoke to you.
Right.
So someone who's been riding 6 months, it would be put in a different way. We're still searching to get the best from the rider, but obviously that rider's best is going to be different to yours, which is to be expected. Yeah. So it's a bespoke day, and very much all our coaching is directed at your ability.
Okay, so today, what we've done today, is this regarded as a bespoke day, or would this be like an atypical type of day for?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have a typical day, but it's a bespoke day. It was, you know, quite often it's what do you want to work on, and we discussed before a little bit about a bit of a once-over and try and point out where I can see elements to improve on, but yeah. It was difficult. You know, there was no, I'm not riding a fault finding. It took a little while. If you didn't realise, it wasn't much before lunch. We talked about raising your vision.
Yeah.
You know, which is a term I don't like, but the ability to read the road well, early, detailed, and continuous was just a small highlight in your ride. There was times just, is that what it is? So yeah, it's bespoke to your needs.
Okay, right. So Joe Blogs that turns up, they go to your website, what can they pick from?
The three main training products are a bespoke day, which is what we've done now. They can come just with an issue they want to work on, we can leave it to us to sort of have a once-over. Our flagship course is Bike Master, which is split over 3 levels. All have road days, and 2 of the levels have a day on a test track, a safe environment. We call it a track day, it's not a proper track day. And then Roadmaster, which is very same layout, almost the same course, but we don't have the track. That just allows those people who don't want to be anywhere near a track to get the highest level of training they can.
Yep, awesome. And where do people go to find out more information?
Obviously the social medias, Rapid Training, and then on the website www.rapidtraining.co.uk. All the information there, all courses. It'll even help you sort of work out what is the right course for you.
Beautiful. Folks, I will put all the links down below, so make sure you check out the description, make sure you give the chaps over at Rapid a follow across their social media, and check out the website for some more information. I genuinely, not just because Ryan is here, but I genuinely recommend this, folks. It is, I think, for any level you're going to get something out of this, and I mean that from the beginner right through to people maybe with my background and beyond. Come here because they have such a wealth of expertise and skill levels across their instructors that they will pick something, they will be able to find something, and they'll help to improve your riding. It is definitely not a going through the motions day by any stretch of the imagination. It's good, make you think, it'll make you work, and you'll definitely get something out of the day. So Ryan, thank you very much, mate. I really have appreciated it. It's been a top day.
My pleasure, mate, my pleasure.
Most enjoyable, and maybe see you back for some time on the track. We'll see. Alright folks, keep doing your thing. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Keep looking after those that you love. Get on out there whenever you can, but most importantly, live your life. Woo-ha! Bosh.
It's like I'm watching it on the phone.